My memory card ran out, so I have to make these into shorter videos. So I had planned to go to Spotlight shortly after I had bought Dark Horse. And I had not written, you know, to Nickelback and said I'm going to Spotlight. I hadn't said anything like that. I'd started fantasizing a little bit because it was kind of weird, you know. It was harmless. It was harmless fantasy, you know. These songs sound like me, and then, you know, the love songs, I mean, maybe Chad knew about me. Maybe he fell in love with me all those years in Alicia's world, because I didn't just strip and dance around to music to my Walkman in my ear. I also wrote on a thing called news and message board. I wrote my life, I wrote my past, you know, and my childhood from birth to 17 to 18, whatever, makes Chad Kroeger look like he grew up in a mansion surrounded by people who adored him, you know. So, you know, I eventually got that Playboy interview, and I saw, you know, he had a really rough life. He wrote the song Saving Me. I normally wouldn't sorry, I wouldn't, you know, trust a rock star as far as I could throw him, you know. They're notorious cheaters, players, but I'm all messed up anyway. Like I said, on paper I look good. I'm creative like he is. I'm tall. I'm 5'10", like I said, 5'9.5" and bare feet. And, you know, I'm called beautiful. I'm voluptuous, you know, big boobs, big butt. But I'm all messed up, so I wouldn't think in a million years that this rock star wanted me. You know, you guys call me crazy and ugly and all this stuff. I wouldn't go around thinking this in a million years. I went to Spotlight on the bus. It took me hours, okay, between waiting and taking the bus, and I take 2 buses to get there. I live far away from Hollywood. And I fantasize. I listen to Dark Horse, and I'm thinking, wow, can you imagine if this man really does? He's like me, and he's kept tabs on me, because I've done other stuff in cyberspace. I've done YouTube videos where I talk about my life and what's going on with my joke of an ex that broke up, whatever, you know. So, I don't know, maybe he saw me in Alicia's world and then kept track of me. I don't know. But in any case, I went to Spotlight. I was listening to karaoke. I wasn't paying attention to anything. All of a sudden, over the loudspeaker, the announcer says, we have celebrities in the house. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't ask who was there. I was busy listening to karaoke, which I love. That's why I go to that bar. I don't go to the bar because I'm gay, and I've gone there and got hit on by straight guys. So you think you can go to a gay bar and not get hit on? You still get hit on, but at least you're not as much. I'm like, oh, I wonder who's here, but I didn't ask. I was drinking, too. I was kind of out of it, you know, but... And then I'm watching the guys dance on the dance floor, and this guy, out of the blue, comes up to me and says to me, it's kind of like watching porn, huh? I'm like, why is this guy even talking to me? But I just said, you know, I'm like, well, porn's boring, this is more sensual. And then I'm like, why is this guy even talking to me? He was shorter than me, too, and I'm not into guys that are shorter than me. I didn't know why he was talking to me, but I said to him, I said, are you gay? And he said, yes. So then my guard went down, and my guard was up, you know. I don't want to be hit on, that's why I'm there. That's why I'm not at a regular bar, so I don't get hit on, because my ex, you know, destroyed my self-esteem, and I'm just like, you know, emotional basket case, but I still like to have fun sometimes, you know. And I don't have friends here because my ex was my whole world. For almost 8 years, he was my whole existence.